Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of AI Amigos Show. My name is Marina, and I'm very happy to be here with my two good friends, James and Chanchao. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, hey everyone.
I hope you are having a nice week. I see that there are a lot of AI news coming here and there. So then it was really hard to actually pick up the topic of today. But when we talk about a very interesting topic, I would like to say hello to our guest here. I see that we have, Carla, Adriana, hello, hola.
Hola, bienvenidas.
Welcome. So, today, guys, we will talk about some gaps that we can see with generative AI. Please don't get me wrong. I still believe that it's an incredible technological progress, amazing what is happening. But there is this gap that we call the Windows context. And I see that there are some research, going around it. So then I really would like to know, your opinion, guys. So who wants to actually come to the field first?
No, well, Jin Chao has his finger on the pulse. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but I moved the finger somewhere else now. No, I think it's.
Too much information, Jin Chao.
I think it just that when we talk about the context, right? Every time it's just basically they say, GPT-4 is 120 it's 128,000 or right, and then some other one GPT. I remember the Google Gemini says, 1 million token. But the question is, what exactly is that window for? How you use it, and in the real life, how does it apply? Do we really need that big, or can you understand everything in that window? And how does really program use that? And that's the question, basically.
Well, I think the main point here is, as well, we have seen when we used tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, that maybe we are in a conversation, and then after two or three answers it forgets whatever was actually said before. So then the main point here is, I don't really think that there's a problem with the number of tokens, as you said, for example, the parameters and everything. So then it's not actually, that's not the problem. I think that there should be something else that we need to explore to see how can we improve the memory. Because at the end, when we compare with human capacity, we always say, yes, for example, ChatGPT is super fast. You just ask and the question is there, and
Mm,
all the information is actually stored. But if I cannot keep up with the conversation, so then it doesn't have the same capacity as humans.
no. So I mean, the context window, I see why it to use the bigger one, because when you do a when you do an API calls, right, all those history things, when you chat all those history to a certain point, we know like James and me configure those, and how many lines of memory you need in the history when you chat. So those are brackets, basically those information being pushed back to the API along with your new request. So it has the LLM has understanding of what happened before, but to a certain extent, Young can only keep 5, 10, whatever you defined, right? If it's outside the window, it's gonna lost. So that's the what happened in the API world. And yeah, and I do see why those we can use RAG to basically have more context relevant stuff, or to bring all the information, needed information into the kind of conversation, maybe, and will be a lot more efficient.
I'm just smiling because it reminds me of those memes that said, okay, before it was statistics, then it was machine learning, now it is AI.
Mm.
In statistics, there is a model. Probably, James, you remember this. We covered this at some point in the masters in the college. The Markov chain. That is a model that is actually very commonly used, for example, for forecasting. But the problem that it has is at a certain point, it is memoryless. And I think this is something similar that is happening here, because there is nothing that you can really do about that particular model. But I still believe that there is a lot to do regarding generative AI. I don't really think that this is the end of it. You know, we start talking again about the agents, and even ChatGPT can have like different conversation. It also has different experts, the mixture of experts, for example, Mixtral. But the main point here is, do you think then, if that's the situation, that really AI can replace all the jobs, as it is said in some places? I mean, I don't know if you heard, probably you did, the former Google employee who won the award recently. So he said, well, I'm really concerned because there are some professions that will disappear. And then, what I think is, okay, but if it cannot actually keep up with whatever is happening, imagine if you're a patient and you're talking to the machine, let's say to a doctor machine, so then it cannot actually continue with the conversation. So then I don't really think that this is the same as talking to a human. Not at all.
Yeah, but there's a lot of. Microsoft released a paper this week in regards to highest impact jobs that would be affected through AI. A lot of them were like historian, data analyst, not data analyst.
Hopefully
Uh,
not.
no, I made Marina spit out her water. She was like, "Wait,
Let me
what?
have
I'm
some
being
water.
replaced."
I'm getting nervous.
Now, hold on a second. Here we go. I'll tell you which one were the highest here. Let's second here. Now, this is what they say the highest impact. So here we go. Interpreters and translators, historians. Now, this one's an passenger attendants, like the stewardess at the plane. How is AI going to?
Wow.
I don't know. Sales representative of services, writers and authors. Now it says that they're going to be affected. It doesn't mean that they're doing away with them. Do you see what I'm saying? Customer service rep, okay. One that I saw, telephone operators, switchboard operators. I didn't even know those guys even existed.
No,
Personal
no.
data
I
scientists.
never thought about that.
Data scientists are on there, by the way, Marina.
No, no, okay, that's it. Let me have more water then.
But that's
personal
the
personal financial advisor. Obviously, it's not saying that these jobs are going to be done away with, but it's saying these are the ones that are going to be impacted, and they're going to be less of, based on their study, their market research.
Well, but here comes the thing, right? So then imagine a plane, right? So there is a crash or whatever. I don't really think the machine could react as fast as maybe as a
Or will
human.
the AI remember that there was a crash?
For example,
Since you're talking about it,
that would be
forget.
actually the even worse.
yeah. I'm a train. I'm a train.
Yes. No, but seriously, so then, the flight attendants, I cannot really imagine, like the flies without them. Um Even when you think about, as you said, like financial advisor, yes, so then the machine can actually do a lot of things, but you still need to have a sense of what is happening in the market,
You would
otherwise,
think. Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
like the
Nope.
memory is an important part of it. Like we remember we did like LSTMs, which is the recurrent neural networks, and
Yes,
it's
yes,
long,
yes.
long short term memory, and as well as like so it had a gate to remember certain memory points, long and short term, to then come up with analysis. And the same thing with looking at reinforcement learning, where you have the different actions that it does and the environment, right? And so you go, okay, well, it takes all of that history, but then which one is important and which one did it take, and did it miss something that was really important? Did it not? And I think there's a lot of hype around AI, which we've talked about before, and
Yeah.
it's and the ones that are telling you all these things are the people that are selling it. So
Yeah. You see,
you got to keep
we
that in mind.
shared in a yeah. I shared in our WhatsApp group. Right. This woman is like talking about AI business, know that every single day, right? About how to do this, how to
On
do that.
TikTok, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
TikTok.
yes.
She's a big figure, right? And now she posted the other day said she need a senior developer to manage her platform. So, like, there you go. If you have the, uh, you still need the special knowledge to
Yeah.
be there to do things, because the AI, you just can't 100% trust it. Another example of
Well,
financial stuff, which is interesting, right? So I using AI start to analyze stuff now, buying stock and all that. I did buy stock back January and or last year December time, to now that stock has go up about 60 or 70%. Okay, that's the good stock.
So you're a
And
millionaire.
well, if
yeah,
if
70,
you do, if
70% is
you
actually
buy
super
stock in
good.
the Revolut, I don't think it's millionaire. So that stock, I recently going down, right? And I was doing a lot of analysis as well. Ask the question, when can I buy back? Here's the stats and the stacks and all that. I give him the trend and what I think, and all those kind of stuff. It tells me where do you buy back in. Now, the the question is, I know what my strategy, how I wanted to apply it. I ask it, I give you information. But if you have no information, how do you verify the information it gives to you? It gives
Well,
you
so
Yeah.
this
then
information.
Yeah.
this is a
The same
problem.
next day. Yeah.
This is a problem. Actually, I have also an example to give here. I can't wait in here with that. So then, I've been studying to do my driving test, the theoretical one. And then, here in Germany, you need to study through an app. But then when you go to the explanations for that, even if you, let's say that you are practicing, right? Even if you fail or you do this correctly, uh, even though the test is in Spanish, the explanations are in German. So then I was struggling so much. So what I was doing was, okay, if I was hesitating about the answer or why was it correct or not, I asked ChatGPT, okay, which one is the correct answer for this one? And ChatGPT gave me wrong answers.
Yeah.
So then afterwards, so in the end is I always remember the words that James used once. It's kind of a pathological liar. You never really know, like when it is telling the truth entirely or
But
not.
how do you use that? Oh, in the practice exam or in a real exam?
No,
Practice.
no, no. In the real exam,
How
you
can you
can't
use the
have the
real exam?
phone.
The
You
real
can't
exam.
have the
Get
phone.
a phone.
No, no, no. But like through the app, there are like
Uh-huh.
simulations. Like,
Yeah,
and then
but that
maybe
that
appear
kind
a
of thing, right?
question, and then I took the screenshot, and then I
Yeah.
put it in ChatGPT and said, okay, so then which one is the answer and why? And
Mm,
ChatGPT gave me the explanation why the answers were, the ones that the machine said, but then in the end they were wrong.
maybe the printer and the
Chun
print.
chun chun, as Marina says.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be like the comment, chan
Yeah,
chan
GPT is never
chan.
wrong, right? It tell you, oh, you find a critical point. But
Yeah.
Well spotted.
Oh yeah,
Well
thank you
spotted.
for pointing that,
well
or
spotted. Yeah,
certainly.
yeah. But that bring back to our context today, right? Like there's the things about lost the contact in the middle. If you put a really really large thing like Gemini, a 1 million token, you put it in there. Most of the stuff in the middle, it doesn't really
No.
and read it. It says from the study, it shows the top and then end. That's where it paid most attention in there anyway. So it's really hard to know what they popping out from. Is that from your information? Is that from all of your information, or just telling you stuff?
Well, so then this is kind of the problem here. Depending what are you using this for. If you said, okay, I have this email, just fix it up, then it's great. It will write as Shakespeare's. But if you I don't know, ask something like super relevant, like I don't know this how to say, like this driving stuff, then it's actually you have to be super careful whether you use the answer or not,
Mm-hmm.
whether you use it like for real or not. Because I mean, I was in a simulation, but imagine if you said, okay, so what is happening in real life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a
and
liar.
this is kind of the example. So here I'm just thinking, because I remember I took actually a while to understand very well the transformers in the models, right? When I read the paper the first time, and then uh this attention is all you need, like when all this started. And then when it actually clicked, I just understood, okay, that's great. There is information that is stored. There are different experts. It could actually answer different topics, etc., etc. What I'm not really clear about is about these windows, this window context that we have now when we are using it, and if there is any way to actually avoid it, because I don't really think that the problem is in the transformers, and I don't really think that it's in the parameters either. So then I don't know, we will need to actually dive into the algorithms to see, okay, so then what can we actually make different or use in a different way to avoid having a memoryless model.
I just we know those NLPs. It's basically strip out all the what was the term again? Strip out all those non words and get the good word,
Yeah,
isn't it?
stop words. So it
The
takes out
stop
the stop
words
words.
when
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
use lemmatization or
yeah,
stemming.
yeah. So they're trying to get a what you mean, but if you put it in a lot of tokens, maybe that messed it up. That because they don't know what you mean. I'm just guessing here, but yeah, it's and then the other question is why do they want such a bigger and bigger window? Like I think to use it more efficiently, you probably have some storage or memory, or in this case, some other cases using like a RAG to acquire that piece of information you talked about, and then bring into that information into the context window along with your question. Kind of, you can maintain more kind of relevant.
Mhm.
Why that big window? I mean, I don't know anybody was using that big window.
Well, but here is the thing. So then maybe not for the daily usage, let's say like civil people like you, like me, but if the intention is really to replace the human or trying to create like a super intelligence, as Mark Zuckerberg said like yesterday, like let's make it like something super intelligent, or even Elon Musk, that we talk about this in the previous weeks. So then if that's the point, then we need to actually get rid of this window, and then we need to say, okay, so then the machine should be actually able to keep this. I remember, Jan, we talked about this and we said, okay, Elon Musk is preparing everything to shift to Mars. So then, if we will send the robots, the machines there, they should behave as humans, right? They need to have curiosity. They need to actually keep up to, with whatever is happening there, to transfer the information as well. So imagine if we're in a conversation and it cannot, you know, keep everything that is showing or is saying or is telling. I don't know. I think at some point it would be necessary if this is the intention. If not, well, then we can keep using ChatGPT and trust or not with the answers.
That's the problem, and a lot of people, unfortunately, don't know certain things, and they see this as the real or the right answer, and then they'll argue with people, and this is the way the world really is, and it's not. You know what I mean? And so then who,
Yes.
because I mean, it was trained. I mean, it was trained on the data on the internet, right?
Yeah,
I still go
Mhm.
back to that. So that data on the internet, how accurate is that? Yes, there are reputable sites or accurate sites, 100%.
yeah,
But there's, I would say, in a proportion, there's a lot more fake sites than real sites. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so yes, and this thing that the
Not
fake
fake,
news
but
spread like a 7 times faster than the real ones. It also affects everything affects. Now the main thing here is, how do we want to use AI? Because as we always say, AI, it's a wonderful tool, it's amazing. Of course, I'm an AI lead. I'm super pro of AI moving forward. But the thing is, it can be, you can actually if you're in a forest and you have a lighter, so then you can create like an entire fire in the forest, or you can make like a small fire and just warm yourself. So then it depends, how you want to use it. And
oh, you can chat to ChatGPT as your companion.
or you might burn down the forest for all we know. I don't know. Accidentally, of course.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
like, no, totally. And also another thing, guys, that I remember we touched this topic like long time back. and it was what happens, when we talk about the environment and all the energy that we are consuming to keep the machines working. You
Oh,
know,
but Claude
generative
released this week. Claude released this week that the AI chat or using AI, at least Claude's models, is not as bad as everyone is saying. In fact, this was I put this in the group there. She said, the same person that Jin Chao was talking about earlier. She said, this is what made me laugh. She said, in fact, you do more watching 10 seconds of Netflix than a putting something into Claude. And then she said, if you want to save the planet, stop watching Netflix.
come on.
She took it to the next level.
Yes, I think so. I think so. And by the way, I don't really think that people will start watching Netflix. No.
Mhm.
So please, people from Netflix, don't think that we are doing bad publicity about that. But seriously, guys, it's actually something that we need to consider, right? So then, if we are currently using a lot of energy, so then what will happen? So then people will disappear in the end. So then the climate change will kill us all, and then the machines will take the planet. It's like Terminator.
What?
We Yes. So then
Maybe
we
they
say,
already have. Maybe it's the Matrix and they already have. We just don't know we're in the Matrix. Shinchao's like, wait, what?
Yeah, what?
it's like, what we are talking about? I'm lost.
Everyone always talks about the Terminator, but the Matrix, like that's another one. Like you're living in the Matrix. We're living in the Matrix.
But it could be. There's already people building the AI games. The NPC are AI, a little AI. Every time I talk to them, it's different results, and you know, so it could be a matrix.
Yeah.
Well, it could be like we will never know.
Yeah, I see people are building that with the little AI NPCs. So you know, it
I,
just
I still I still think that there is a lot to actually go on, in terms of the technical part of generative AI. I don't really think that this is the end. I think that we are moving towards something much bigger than we can even imagine, and this window context that we are talking about, I am sure that at some point we can get rid of them. The thing is, again, what is the purpose, right? So then, if the intention is, okay, we want to replace certain jobs, for example, or if the intention is, okay, so then we needed to, for example, move to Mars or create, for example, storing the data in the space, as we were talking before, Jan, like with this situation that it was actually a topic of discussion. So then we don't affect the planet.
I think it won't change in the short term unless we have significant and hardware upgrade. So we're not running like large language model from one model for everyone. Everyone has its own small model, and then you can talk about store your memory into the model, and then it will this context window will be out. You could just talk to it, and then this LLM update itself on your local phone, and then it trains itself so
But
quickly.
but
Yeah.
do you think that that could be a solution, because most of the company, for example, they work with cloud services.
We just started. I mean, like, look at the rate of the hardware every year now. I don't even know. Like, I had my computer like 4 or 5 years ago. Now my hardware is like a dinosaur. Do you know what I mean? And every year there's a
Yes.
new graphics card and all that, and everyone put money into the AI race now. Maybe there's new architecture,
Yeah.
transformer. Maybe in the past, maybe some efficient way. We don't know. So that's how I see it, because the context now it's just because everyone is using one machine, one LLM,
Yeah.
right? More or less, kind of
Yes.
way.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sure, but not one machine there. That's kind of Skynet like. But I mean, a couple of, you know,
Sorry, I
everyone
had to
shares
come
the
back.
model, right?
Terminator is there, our
Yeah,
our one machine.
yeah. So once it's getting smaller and more efficient and all that, you can run it on your phone with with a lot more parameters.
Well, that's what Apple was saying they were doing, right? Apple's saying that they're going to run it on your phone.
Yeah, I can. There are some apps I tried. You can run like relative 1.5 billion or to 3 billion is a bit slower, but you can run it on your phone now. But it's still nowhere.
No,
Hmm.
it's not yet. But I mean, you think about, but I mean, if you think about like in the 1960s, when they sent man to the moon, right? As they say, the computing power that we have in our phone was much bigger than what they had in their whole
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
So if you think about that, I mean, if you would have said that to back then and say this computer in this entire building is going to be in this, they would have thought we were crazy. But I
yeah,
say maybe down the road we're going to say all the stuff we're using to train AI is now going to be in something like this.
yeah,
The
definitely.
future.
We just have to look forward. The real AI is only what, like the Gen AI is only 2 years old, probably max at the moment. So
Well, I mean, in LLMs, yeah. I mean, generative
yeah,
AI has been around. I mean, like LSTMs and things like
Yes,
that.
for a
You're able to
while,
do the.
longer.
It's been
Yeah,
for a while, but I mean,
but not
never.
in the form that we know it now.
No, and never on the scale. On the scale is, I mean, I saw like in China they're building these power plants that are terawatts that
yeah,
like are the largest power plants, and it's all used to power AI.
yeah. But they have a lot of infrastructure as well, other stuff like trains and all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
but I'm just saying, as far as like they need something huge, like even here in Ireland, like they were going to build data centers and they stopped because they don't have enough electricity to
yeah,
generate to get it. And like they were going to build one. I remember in Galway, Apple was going to build one, and they
I
said
remember, yeah.
they were
yeah.
going to use as much as electricity as the entire city of Galway, and they're like, we don't have this.
But that's the all the data center now in Dublin use about 60 or 70% of whole electricity from Dublin.
Yeah,
So I think I saw a report about that, at 60 or 70% of the power. So,
It's
but
a
nice.
lot.
thinking
It's a
about
lot.
our yeah, thinking about China is 1.6 billion people. Everybody typing one word in DeepSeek. You know what is happening? You know, like
Collapse.
as mental part of power you need to run that,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, totally.
and all the
Okay.
takeaways. You order it here.
No, but here is the thing, So then when you think about that, and you said, okay, no, imagine like in China with the number of people that are there. So then, but they really have the capacity, because with DeepSeek, I assume like many people are using it, and I don't think how could it be different from setting the data centers in Ireland.
It's the same
And
as
they have their own data centers, right?
yeah. That's kind of how the IT people in China, especially network people. I know like a couple of young network people from China is a lot better compared to the people outside. It's not really like it just they're better. No, because they met those problem early on. You know what I mean? Because the sheer amount of people they have to, let's say, when you set up network in kind of train station, how many routers you need, how many section you need how many VLAN, all that, because the train station could hold like 100,000, 200,000 people, and then the requirement is different than some, like doubling, is a lot less. So they might hit those kind of problem early in LLM. Maybe they have more efficient way to run it or something like that. Yeah,
So you're telling me this about China. Sorry, I'm laughing because I still remember when we had our session
yeah,
about like AI in China, and you
yeah.
talk about like people check in the apps, like okay, so then I get a better a better deal, if I have the coupon or whatever, instead of just going to the market and said, okay, I want a watermelon, I pick it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm feeling better now. I was really like, whoa, overwhelmed. Like now I'm just a bit better.
Well,
Well,
like
but
to save a euro or to save a buck. I mean, would you save more than a euro,
Yes,
Michelle?
so much. It's so
Well,
much.
but the thing is, like society got used to that, so then that's the point, and it's a kind of bargain all the time. Okay, no, the other one is actually cheaper, and then they go. But
Yeah.
this was kind of a sign of what is really going on, and how many people are really using it, and how much electricity they need, and probably they use less than here, as you said, John. So it's another capacity or it's another technology. I don't know.
Mm.
The model should be pretty similar, though.
The market is bigger. I see. They can try anything, right? So if they can like you can do a small app for just your community, couple buildings, right? You still make money, but here it's harder. So yeah,
Yeah, because it's not even the whole Ireland is bigger than the community there. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Like there's a business just right outside your community center. You could
Yeah.
sell whatever hot dogs there. There's a couple buildings. It's full of people. You can make a kill of it. If you stand outside my states, you probably need to be on the dough next week.
You probably would next week, and probably by the end of the day.
You probably eat a lot of hot dogs.
Exactly.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time and the conversation. It was great to talk to you about this. And thank you to our viewers, the comments, the audience. It was really nice to have you. And we are looking forward to seeing you next week.
And
Have
don't
fun.
forget the viewers. Don't forget to subscribe.
That's true. Subscribe to our channel and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram as well. You can follow us on Instagram, AI Amigos Show, and you will find us. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
See you guys.
Bye now. And